On my YouTube page there, a guy named Alex asked how I did my filter on here. As you can see, I still have the stock plumbing. What I did was, this here is actually just a piece of PVC. It's actually about this long. It's a piece of PVC tubing. It's I can't remember for sure. I think it's 3.5 inch. It fits right in here perfect. Then I got the adapter that goes 3.5 inch to 3 inch, or maybe it's 3 inch to 2.5 inch. I can't remember for sure what the exact dimensions were on it. And then this here is just a universal K&N. I know it's filthy right now. I know I'm not blind to it. It's just, I'm getting ready to replace the head. So instead of cleaning it, I've just left it alone for now, because everything's going to be detailed. When the head comes off, I'll have it all apart so I can clean everything, and then I'll clean the filter again. But it's really easy the way it is. I mean, this is just a Spectre adapter. I mean, and you have to take the air box off. If you put the K&N filter on here, you do have to take the air box off. I mean, if you wanted to get into it and cut the air box up and everything, you can still have the air box on here. But the whole point of putting this on there is to get more air. If you put this inside the air box, you're not making any kind of improvement at all, because the air box has a hole this big that lets air in. That's how big the inlet is on your air box. So you need to take the air box off. If you're going to put this on, there's no point in putting it, unless you just want the K&N filter on there to say you have a K&N filter, but it's not going to give you any increased performance or any increased fuel mileage. It's not going to breathe better. It's not going to do anything better than what the regular air filter does if you leave the air box on the car. You need to take the air box out. Now you could, you know, if you wanted, you can take, and if you cut up the air box, you could use part of the air box to support this, you know, and then you can strap it. You know, I used to have it strapped up right here, because as you can see now, it's starting to, this is only insulation, but it's starting to rub into my insulation from not having it strapped up. I had cut the straps. The way I had it strapped up was just like this, and I cut the straps off to do some stuff that I was doing in here, so. But it was a really simple procedure, and like I said, I kept the stock, and the reason I kept the stock plumbing on here is for the sensor that's in the plumbing. There's a sensor on here. Where is that sensor? It's over here somewhere, but there's a sensor on here, and then you also got this here that catches water to keep, that's actually, that piece of plumbing right there will actually keep water from getting into your intake. So that's why, you know, there's multiple reasons why I did it. Oh, here's the plumbing and additional plumbing and stuff. And I just didn't want the aftermarket intake on it, because it just, that stuff doesn't always work right. Everything on my car has been done right. I know, it looks like junk. I know, it's supposed to look like junk. If you've ever grew up around moonshiners, then you'd understand. I put this thing on Facebook all the time, and people laugh at it because they think, and I've had people come here and they look at it and they think it's absolute junk. And right now I got a broken valve, and I'll take them down the road. I live out here on dirt roads. I'll take them down the dirt road at over 100 miles an hour. We get there in the blink of an eye, and they're holding on for dear life. I'm driving with one hand all back, relaxed, and I mean, the way the car handles, the way the car is set, it is not, it looks exactly the way I want it to look, because nobody expects what it is and what it will do. And the funny thing is, people on Facebook prove it all the time. It's so common for everybody to knock on my car. That's all right. They ever get up beside it, they'll stop knocking it while they got to explain to their girlfriend why that piece of junk just beat them. That's exactly why it looks like it does. I took a Mitsubishi 3000 GT Turbo, and it wasn't out racing the streets. Racing the actual road racing, I can understand, because, you know, then you could say, well, he just didn't know. No, he couldn't even beat me light to light on a straight line. I mean, it couldn't touch. I mean, you know, I show people up all the time with that little car. I've showed up Mustangs, Camaros. I've had people coming up to me at speed at a red light. The light will turn green and they still can't get past me. that is, it looks exactly the way I want it to look, because nobody ever expects it to be what it is. I've thought about a number of times of cleaning it up, actually, but I don't know. Every time I think about cleaning it up, I realize if I clean it up, people are going to realize that there's got to be money in the rest of the car, probably. So I kind of like it like that, because now they just think it's just rice. They hear the exhaust and they just think that I did something to make the exhaust sound right, but yeah, I did. There's probably $10,000 in the bottom half of the motor. Then there's additional upgrades. There's about to be a $5,000 between the $3,500 head and the parts and the labor. There's about to be $5,000 more. So altogether, it's about to be $15,000 in the motor alone. So the car looks exactly the way it should look. Like I said, if you grew up around old school moonshiners, you understand.